Assalamu alaikum. We'll just take 3 more minutes and then we'll kickstart. Assalamu alaikum. We'll just take 3 more minutes and then we'll kickstart. Assalamu alaikum. Just take 3 more minutes and then we'll Okay, Assalamu alaikum, and thank you for joining for this session. And today we are focusing, or we are trying to take out some time to discuss about what is ChatGPT, and the major focus here is just giving a 36,000 feet overview about what is ChatGPT and how exactly it can help us in our lives. I'm sure we have a mixed crowd here. We have a few folks online who have joined in as well as in person. Alhamdulillah. With no further delay, let's try to go over what is that we'll be going over as part of this session. I do have a very simple agenda as part of this. Of course, we do have people who don't have understanding of software as well. So we'll just take a baby step towards understanding what is software, what is AI all about, and what is OpenAI, and eventually ending on to the crux of this meeting, which is ChatGPT, and understanding what it is all about, how exactly you can create an account out of it, and what is that benefits you can drive at a very basic level is what we'll be looking at it. Of course, we'll be doing extensive hands-on in playing around and understanding how exactly ChatGPT can be utilized in our day-to-day lives. With that said, let's try to go one step further. Let us say 20 years before, if I would have asked you to send me some funds on a Sunday, you would be saying, hey, it's a strict no, because the bank is going to open following day morning 9 a.m. That is when I can go in and then push a deposit onto your account. But today, I could ask you to send a fund on a Sunday night, and you could be sitting on your couch and you could send it across. How is that happening? Like engineers like you and me have sat down and have found and they have sorted this problem, they solved this problem, they found out that software can help you do that, right? That is how we are able to. You're sitting in your home and you're seeing what is the traffic based on which you're starting out from your home, right? You're seeing that Google Maps is telling you, okay, this is the stipulated time, so you won't be leaving at that point, but rather you would figure out when is that the traffic is less. So ultimately software is something which is going to ease humans life, right? It is something which is going to make your life much smoother. But in a real sense, what it is set of instructions which are being passed to computer to perform a certain task, right? And to your mobile is also a sort of a computing engine where you're passing a certain instruction and you're giving a starting point and an end point, and then you're getting when exactly you would be arriving at a given destination. Helps you plan ahead and do a lot of stuff. But a much more realistic application of software is when the pandemic hit us. For example, you could sit in your home and you could figure out where exactly the vaccination is being given, and then you could go exactly to that location rather than stopping at 10 different locations and understanding where exactly can I find my vaccination. The point here is software is something which is easing your life, right? Which is easing your life, and it is set of instructions which you are passing to a computer expecting a response which is going to make your life easier, right? Perfect. With that said, let's go one step further in understanding what is AI, right? Artificial intelligence, it's uh, again, it's from in a software industry, it's a technology which enables you or the machines, right, to mimic exactly what the humans are trying to do. A very best example today would be Tesla. How is that a car is able to drive by itself? The technology which they are being using underneath is artificial intelligence, right? If you go to any bank website today, you could see a chatbot which is trying to interact with you. You're passing some instruction, you're telling, okay, what is my account balance, or you're asking it, okay, what should he do to perform a wire transfer, and there is a chatbot who is communicating with you and responding back and telling, okay, this is what has to be done. A very best example for that thing also is Alexa. Alexa is capable of reminding you exactly at 4 a.m. that you have to prepare for a certain task, which you always did. Either you were asked one of your family members to do that, or you had to set up an alarm or something to go into an app and then do it. But today you could just pass an instruction to Alexa and say, hey, can you set up an alarm at 4 a.m., and it's going to wake you up. Or could be just a reminder. How many times have we not missed paying bills because we didn't get a reminder, a proper reminder? Today, these artificial intelligence softwares are helping us do that. These chatbots are helping us do that, right? Could be Siri. You're driving and you're asking Siri to make a call. Let us say I'm making a call to one of my friend, and then if I'm just passing that command, Siri is able to do it. How is it happening? Artificial intelligence is a technology. What is happening underneath? That is not part of this agenda. Just giving you understanding like how software and the other flavors as part of it are playing a vital role in our lives, and why is that we should be knowing this is very important, right? Perfect. So a few of those examples, of course, are Alexa, Google Home, Siri. All these are AI examples. Something which they use, if you see, to Siri or Alexa or any such chatbot, something which you use to talk to is a natural language. Like you say, hey, can you please set up a reminder? It is English language. If you see the previous softwares which were being built, they needed a specific language like Java, C, C++. But today we are in an era where you can talk English and the computer is able to understand and perform your task. This language interpretation is referred to in intelligence industry as NLP, natural language processing, where you are using natural language to communicate or pass instruction to a computer, and the computer is able to pick that instructions and perform those tasks. Like we said, Siri is one best example for that. Alexa is an example for that, right? That's what it is using to perform the task, the day-to-day task. With that understanding, the dots I'm trying to connect here is software, which eases your life, artificial intelligence, which is much more simpler version of simplifying your life, where you are using your natural language to interact with a chatbot and do a certain task, and underneath you're using natural language to do that. With that said, lot of the artificial intelligence industry is growing so vast and fast that a lot of companies are catching on to it, and they want to invest a lot, build new products which can help them transform day-to-day lives. One such company is OpenAI. OpenAI is one of a bunch of scientists and researchers have got together, and they have started this company. It's been a few years now, but that they have spun off this particular organization, and what they're planning to do as part of this, or they're doing very extensively, is utilizing artificial intelligence in building such tools which can ease humans life. Could be chatbots, could be language models which will help you transform and get responses which are curated just specifically for a given use case. And we'll see how exactly have they done that. Well, today's session is more of a focus in terms of understanding what is ChatGPT all about. You would have heard this buzz all over the place. Like everyone is talking about this ChatGPT. Chat. What is this ChatGPT? It is like a human. Like for example, if I have to pick up the next graduation school, I would go and reach out to someone who has a real good understanding about graduation schools, and I would ask him for suggestions. Right? Imagine this to be that human who knows most of the stuff, right? Could be asking for recipes where, assuming that someone is diabetic and he's asking for recipes which are diabetic friendly, and also giving you a curated list of those recipes. ChatGPT is just like a chatbot which you would have seen, but the best part about this is it holds the conversations with people and using natural language, and also keeps in mind the context in which you are trying to talk to. For example, if I'm asking it to build a resume for me, it remembers that, okay, I'm trying to build a resume, and also curates it based on that particular context. For example, if I have to build a cover letter, once I have done with the resume, it is going to help me with that. So what are you going to do? You're going to pass some inputs, and it's going to send back certain responses which you will be using to build, or to understand, and the responses which are sent back from ChatGPT, right? So does anyone use it today? There are 100 million subscribers, active subscribers for this particular tool, or this chatbot. ChatGPT has 100 million active subscribers. By December 2022, they had already crossed 1 million, and they say it is growing much faster than TikTok in terms of subscribers. Why? Because there is a real world application which is available, which is helping it, right? Of course, 100 million subscribers means a huge volume in terms of the number of users who are using it, right? Also, something to look at it is what is the market value of this particular tool. This particular tool has a market cap of around, it was valued around 29 billion, and Microsoft itself has put like 10 billion in funding just on this particular product. So something which, a loud message which comes out as part of these numbers is this tool is going to be a breakthrough for most of the industries, right? Because these numbers are not some small numbers, these are very big numbers, and very promising investors are part of this particular tool. So it's much more important for us to, like, be invested in understanding and learning and using this tool in our day-to-day lives, like, perfect. So with that understanding, we also want to know who are the competitors. Like, are there any competitors available? Of course, Google's Bard is something like a giant, competitor against ChatGPT. We do have some other small competitors like Scintilla from DeepMind. Amazon has something called as Code Whisperer, because they found that ChatGPT has a lot of, discrepancies in terms of security. So Amazon wanted to have something like Code Whisperer. UChat is also one, and Microsoft has also integrated this ChatGPT with Bing, and so they also have Bing AI, which is enabled along with ChatGPT. All these fall under the competitors list. This is just a text based, artificial intelligence tool, but we do have other tools which you would be interested in, and you want to, like, take a stab at and understand how exactly they can help you in improvising your productivity. So some of them are, like, of course, in the text world it is ChatGPT. For design, you do have Midjourney. For video, there are a few of those. This is a consolidated list which you can use, and you can make a list. We can try to take a stab at these tools and see how exactly it can help your productivity in your day-to-day life, right? Having said that, let's try to see how is that I can register to this particular tool, and how exactly can I, make benefit out of it. With no further delay, let's try to jump and see how exactly can I register. To register, you have to go to the website called chat.openai.com, which will take you to somewhere here. Let me just jump here. So all I did was chat.openai.com, and it brought me here. Of course, I've already signed up, but I'll be walking you through the sign up process. Pretty straightforward, nothing fancy here. Just click on sign up. Once you visit this website, just click on sign up, and then you should be given uh, the direct link where you can create an account. If you have an email address, you can use that. If you want to link it to your Gmail, you can do that. Let's say I do have my email, and I would say BPM for business gmail.com. So what it does is it sends you a verification link. I'm sorry. Uh, if okay, I have to give a password. Let us say I'm giving some password. It should be 8 characters. That's the condition they have. So make sure you have 8 characters on the password. Click continue, and pretty straightforward. You can link it to a Google account as well. And now it asks you for pretty much like your human or not. You have to validate that, right? It's asking me to open my Gmail to see if I have received that verification email. I have my Gmail open here. Let me click here. I see that it hasn't come yet. Let me refresh it. So I should see that email coming in. If you see, I see the OpenAI verify your email address link. So when I click on this pretty much asks me for my first name, and I can give my date of birth. This is pretty straightforward. You can do this, but just walking through so that we have pretty if we have any learners who want to have understanding of how exactly this is done, I can put that as well. Let's say this is my date of birth. Continue. And you will have to give your phone number. My phone number is already registered with one of the account. That's why this won't go through, but you will be giving your phone number, and you would be getting a code. You would be providing that code, and once you are done with that, you would be seeing something like this, right? Once you log in, you would be seeing something, a window which would look something exactly like this or slightly different, but this is what you would be seeing. Chat.openai.com would be rendering you something like this. Here, if you see, this is a studio walkthrough of ChatGPT. How does it look like? What does it have? Right? I'll just try to refresh it. So, and if you see the bottom left panel has your user, your settings, your help FAQs, and stuff like that. You can click on settings and you can see what is the theme. You can modify the theme to dark, light, or whatever. I usually prefer dark theme, so I'm changing that to a dark theme here. If you want to log out, you just have to click on this thing and you can log out. You can visit the help and FAQs to understand what are the frequently asked questions, right? You can visit those, of course. And something which we can do here is the very important aspect here is the conversation. How can I initiate a conversation in ChatGPT? Of course, you can't ask stuff which are not supposed to be asked, some malicious stuff or something which is not appropriate. You won't be able to ask because it's not something which ChatGPT would be responding back with. It would be always telling you that this is not something I can help you with, and it's not appropriate to be asked. Perfect, right? That's what is a basic understanding. Now, with no further delay, let's try to go further and see how exactly can I initiate a conversation and start talking to it, right? Let me open a new chat. Just click on this new chat and this would open you a new thread. Let me say hi. This is a free version. That is why it is slightly slower. There is a newer version which is called as uh, ChatGPT 4 or ChatGPT Plus, which uses a much mature model, and it will be sending back responses much faster. Uh, However, like because we are using the free version, you'll be seeing a slight delay in response, but that's fine. It shouldn't stop us from playing around. And you can start multiple threads based on what you're trying to do. While this is happening, I will just create my next query also, where I want to, let us say, add two numbers, just first giving you a look and feel of what it looks like, and then from there we'll try to take it further. I see some delay from the chat GPT side. Sometimes it is slow, but most of the times it is working fine. I see some delay from the chat GPT side. No, I'm able to stream it, so I think it is working fine. Let me open a new tab and try this out again. ChatGPT.com. Close this. Let me start with one basic arithmetic problem, and let us see if it is going through. Oopsies, it's taking quite some time, which is unusual.
Yeah, because I did it on my phone and you will reply very fast.
Okay. I'm trying to log in again to see if we can solve this thing. Right. I do have it linked to my Google, so I'm just doing it. Hmm.
Clean the cache and let's try it.
Yeah, let me try to register from here as well. And let me see if it is sending me a code. See, the it tells me it's already registered. So
You want to try my idea?
आपका try करो. I'm trying another login here in the meanwhile.
irs.mit@gmail.com.
At 1 2 3.
No, just one. Everything is working fine. I can. One.
Perfect. So somehow that login didn't go through. So when you log in, you would see something like this, which tells you it's a free speech, and it's giving you a pop-up. Just navigate through it, and it will give you certain instructions, like you have to use it for safety. And they say that they do collect the data whenever you try to pass something as an instruction. They do collect the data. Be aware that you shouldn't be giving your SSN, your driver's license. All such data is not supposed to be passed into this particular website or this particular tool. So that might be not the right way you would be using it, but you would be using it in terms of enhancing your productivity, right? Do a next and say, so you can, when you like an answer, you can provide a feedback, so they are going to use that later for their purposes. So one big disadvantage with this particular tool is all the data they do have to deal with here is limited to 2021. Anything before 2021 you can ask that, but you can't be asking, for example, you can't ask who is the new president or prime minister, because it doesn't have any understanding of what's happening in the current affairs of the world. So the data is limited to 2021, but in most of the cases you'll be able to use that to in terms of productivity on your task, based on what task you're trying to do, you can utilize that. Well, we'll see what exactly we can do, right? Sometimes it might generate like inaccurate responses. That's what they have told here. The limitations are those may occasionally produce harmful instructions also. I mean, I would say, like, depending upon the kind of question you're asking, it is driven by that. Because also, like I said, it has a limited knowledge, and the events just limited up to 2021, right? And capabilities are vast. We'll be seeing that. We are using a free version, that's why you see a upgrade to plus is what you see here, and you can ask a lot of stuff, and we will see that what exactly we can ask for. So right now it is with this thing. So the left panel will show you all the queries you ask are going to pile up here, and you'll be seeing that here. So let us say I want to do a simple math problem here, just to start as a new no-brainer. So 3 plus 4 is what I can ask. Now it is telling me 3 plus 4 is 7. If you like this, you can say yes. And if you want a much better answer, like, for example, if you're trying to explain this to a kid, you can ask to regenerate this response. And something you should see is, see, it's generating two responses here, see, one and two. This way you can keep generating responses, and then you can see that it will be generating more responses. So it's kind of advanced now. Previously, if you had asked this thing, it would also tell you 3 plus 4 is 7, because you're trying to add up three entities with 4. That way you can enhance these responses. And something which, to start off with, like, you can ask questions like this to this particular platform. So another thing which you have to understand is, this is something which will be used to pass the prompts. For example, let us say this is one thread which we started. So if you see, it has created one tab here. Now let us say I want to start a new chat, a new thread. I can click on new chat, and then it would help me in starting a new tab or new chat here. And here I can say, give me a top 10 recipes with chicken. If you see, now it is giving me a list, sort of a prompt, in the sense it is giving me a list of items which it is offering as part of this particular interaction. In this interaction, is giving me this list. And when we say it remembers the context of the chat, let us say, so it has generated 10 such dishes which are with chicken. Let us say, what is this? So we do have chicken curry, chicken fajitas, chicken alfredo, chicken teriyaki, chicken parmesan. Okay, let us say I'm interested in 2 and 3, or let's say 3 and 4. Okay, give me, let us say I'm going out for shopping. I want to get a list of what are the ingredients would I need for this. So if it was Google, every time you had to, like, remind it or tell what is that you're looking for. But because we are already in this context, I can say, give me the ingredients needed for 3 and 4. Now, if you see, I didn't have to tell ChatGPT that I'm looking for chicken Alfredo or chicken teriyaki, but it actually knows that I'm looking for chicken Alfredo and chicken teriyaki, because this is a contextual chatbot which remembers or knows what is the transaction conversation you're having. It's as good as you're talking to a human, and he knows that you're talking about these two items, right? So, and if you see, it is giving me those, the ingredients which are needed for this particular item. And I can also ask, uh, provide me with a detailed recipe, assuming that I have a induction stove. Sometimes we have, it might give you a recipe, but it is only applicable for a gas stove. But right now I want it for my induction stove. So let us see if it can curate this particular response and give me something which is specific for induction stove. See, the instructions are so detailed. It's like baby steps of how exactly you can prepare this particular curry, or this dish. So it is giving you the ingredients needed and what is that you have to do as part with those ingredients, right? The instructions are very simple, and you can pick those up, anything, not just this, but you can do lot much stuff. But this is where I want to start with and help you understand what exactly the power of this particular tool is. This, if you see, it is remembering this conversation, and it is also tailoring this particular responses specific to what your question was, which is not the case if you go into Google and look for an answer, right? And it remembers this. Also, you want to make sure you don't add ingredients for which are harmful for diabetic, right? Now again, it understands that, okay, in this given list, it is going to remove all those ingredients which are not diabetic friendly, and it's going to give you a much curated version which you can just look at and then put that on your list and fetch that. Is it making sense? So far we have been able to successfully understand what is ChatGPT at a high level all about, a 36,000 feet overview of what is ChatGPT. And also, this example is helping us understand, okay, I can play around with a list of responses which is going to give, and then I can further fine tune it to my taste and make sure it is tailor made to exact requirement what I have, right? That's what we are seeing now. For example, if you don't like this response, you can regenerate the response and it will give you second response for the same requirement, and exactly similar to the math problem which we saw, it generated multiple responses. Now it is generating a better response for that particular problem or the query you had asked for, right? And then you can navigate and see that by see the number here, and then you can see how exactly it has generated. With this example in mind, let's try to see another example where, for example, if I'm having a law firm or any organization of mine, or a shipping firm, I would need copyright content to be written. If you see today, for any copyright, you'll have to go to a specific person who does the copywriting for you, and it is kind of a task which everyone feels like pretty challenging because they have to go and set up a time and figure out. But tools like this can help you in writing in a beautiful way. Let's try to see how exactly can we do that. So if you see, for the existing query, when we asked it, so it gave us two responses. You can pick the one which favors you, and then you can also give a feedback. If you liked it, you can say, hey, this is perfect. And this helps them in curating the, because this is being fed back again to their models to make sure that they provide much more better experiences for the users. So this is how you could help them. Not mandatory, but just helping you understand this is one feature available. So let us say I want to start a new chat now. I'm again clicking here on the new chat, and this is going to bring up another window here, right? Let us say I want to give me uh, privacy and copyright content for my property casualty law firm. Let us say I have a law firm which does property casualty, which fights property casualty cases, and let us say I want to get something else. So it's telling, I'm sorry, but I'm not quite sure what I'm asking for. So it's asking for much more, curated question. It's telling, okay, sorry, this is not something looks like I can help you with. So let's try to correct our question. Let me say content for, let us say, for my website, for my um, website. Okay, I'm trying to build a website. Let us say I want to have the copyright content for that particular website, and ChatGPT should be able to make sure that it is adding necessary privacy and copy things needed for privacy and copyright. If you see, it is generating that generic and a boilerplate code or content which you need. You can just copy paste this and add your own customization to that. And let me say, uh, please make sure this content is compatible with Florida law, let us say. Now it is telling, okay, sure, certainly. Is it 100% accurate? No, but you have a head start for your content. Yes, right? You can go over it, understand if it is, curated for your specific content. If you go into most of the platforms today, could be Fiverr, could be Upwork. A lot of them are just using this particular platform to cater or help people who have products in preparing the content using this, right? This is one example where you can use this for privacy and copyright content. This way you could do it for a lot of other stuff as well. For example, let us say you have a beauty product and you want description for your beauty product. Let us say I have a beauty product based on vegan uh,
ingredient.
sorry, vegan veggies. Please give me description for my product. See, introducing our beauty product, whatever the name is, you can add that, and then it is giving you a description, what description you need for that particular beauty product. Quite interesting, right?
I'm looking for something like a whitewash
Okay, yeah, I mean, you could do it.
for me. See if you can give it to me.
Yes, it could do that for
Whitewash
you.
is something you paint the tree with.
See, this is one way you could do that. Very important is, most of us who are trying out for jobs, so we struggle with preparing our resumes. Just getting a formal outlook to our resume is a very challenging thing for us today. We do have templates, but it's not curated for the specific role you are applying for. Let us try out that. Let's try to build a resume. Let us say I'm trying for a job of sales manager at Costco, and I need a resume for that. It is building me a resume on the fly when I told I'm looking for a sales manager job. It's giving me the objective. What is the objective? And then it's telling me these are the things you will be adding your experiences. So once this is done, we'll try to curate this in the same context and see how exactly can it help us to go to a much better shape from here. Let it just complete this thing, and we'll see. Let us say I want to add my previous experiences to this thing. Let us see if it is helping us do that. So it generated a sample, you know, template. Now let me say, please add my experience from Sam's Club as sales lead for 4 years. So now the same resume, it is picking up from where it stopped. It remembers the context. It's adding your corresponding experience which you asked to see. There are some strategies. It is adding that particular context. You can also add your education. You can say, hey, add my, while it is doing that, let me prepare my query. Add my master's in business administration with 8.7 GPA from Yale.
Can we connect it to a LinkedIn profile and he can pick everything from LinkedIn, or he cannot go?
I mean, I think there are tools which are coming out which where you can do that. Right now, I don't think there is an adapter which can talk to LinkedIn and fetch that thing. Yeah, but you can copy paste that. I mean, it should be like pretty straightforward. You can click on the profile on your LinkedIn, copy that, and put it here. And maybe depending upon the kind of role you're looking for, take the job description, bring that job description, provide here, give your inputs, and then it will curate your resume exactly similar to how exactly what is the expectation as part of that role. I would say that would be a much better approach, right? Because your profile might have some details, but the job description is demanding for a certain skill, and this would help you do that. Is it giving you an understanding of how exactly you can use it to build your resume? Right. Of course, once you're done with this thing, you would want a cover letter for that resume. Please provide me with a cover letter for this resume. It will give you the cover letter with these details. These are some details which you would be having. That is why it is providing you with those boxes which you can fill in, or you can provide those and it will fill it for you here, and you can just copy paste that onto your Word on your MS Word and print it out, and take it further from there. Perfect. Now we have understood, like in a real world, how exactly can we make use of this thing. A very much more advanced sort of approach to this thing is in writing blogs. If you see today, Medium and there are other platforms who are paying you if you write really good and interesting blogs. Could be on technology, could be on cooking. If you see, so many people are writing blogs. Why are they writing? Because they are benefiting from that. They're making money out of it. How is that? Because people are viewing that and they are being paid for that. What are they using? They are using tools like this. Let us say, please give me 10 ideas. Let us say cryptocurrency is something which I'm interested about, and I'm asking ChatGPT, please give me 10 ideas for blogging, for blogs on cryptocurrency. Now, this should tell me like what are those ideas which I can look for. Now it is listing down those 10 ideas which I can make use of, or I can, if I am planning to write a blog about, I can look for this list, right? So these 10 ideas are ready for me. I can say, please give me an outline for five. The blog outline would be something, it will be providing you with the introduction, definition of cryptocurrency, and it's pretty much telling you what is needed. You are not even writing here. You see that? You're not even saying, you're just asking it to do it for you, and it is doing that. You want to have much more, many more subheadings, it will do that. This way you can build as many blogs as you want. All you have to do is copy this, paste it on the blog website, and have people explore it. There are so many areas which you can explore and you can do. And of course there are a lot of other tools which will help you remove the plagiarism as well. I will be talking about that, but this is a very high level use case which you will be making use of in doing that. You can also do a lot of role plays with ChatGPT. For example, act like a English teacher and teach me grammar. Please start with nouns. Now it is acting like an English teacher. And it's giving you how exactly it is going to help you as part of. You can curate this further. You can ask again, help me understand pronouns and stuff like that. The possibilities are unlimited. You can ask it to act like a self-help coach. Help me manage my time. I can tell, I'm starting another thread and I'm saying, act like a self-help coach and give me tips to manage. Now it is giving me clear cut goals which I should be focusing on and building this particular, how exactly can I break my day-to-day task and in different channels is what something it is helping me out with. The possibilities are unlimited. It's all about how you can tweak your brain and ask questions to it, right? So this is what it has come back with. So I can also ask it, let us say, act like a password generator and make sure it is 10 characters and has two special characters. You see that? Well, this is a very high level, 36,000 feet overview of what ChatGPT is capable of. In the interest of time, I have curated that content. I took some time out and I have made sure that I could, put this across in a few slides with respect to what is that you can look for. Of course, we went through the registration and we built a job resume, but we also looked at how you can define roles, right? We acted as a English. Asked it to act like an English teacher. It did that. You can do all this stuff here. You can ask it to act like a recruiter or an interviewer, and it will give you the set of questions you would be looking for when you're going for a sales job. You're going for a tech job, it will be giving you those tech related questions, curating it to exact specific requirement you have. Motivational coach, it can act like an Excel sheet, like a Linux terminal. You name it, you have it. It's pretty much like it can act like a doctor. Of course, I won't recommend going and asking it for your diseases, but it is a head start for you in most of the cases, right? It can act like a financial analyst. For example, you have some savings, how do you want to spread it across? It will give you an idea about how exactly you can, you know, start off with that. We did try the password generator, a journalist, a social media manager. I mean, these are some things which you would be needing in on a day-to-day basis. That's why I have put it across here. I'd be sharing that these slides as well with you guys. And also something which we saw was like, if you want to it to explain something to you, you can use phrases like this: explain me clearly quantum mechanics, or explain me clearly how exactly Tesla works, or explain me in a way how Elon Musk could explain it, or explain me in a way that I can explain it to a fifth grader or someone. You're teaching your kid about a certain concept, let us say force, light, speed, physics. You can ask it to do that. You understand it and transform that to your kid. You don't have to be a PhD holder to understand a certain concept. All you have to know is how exactly you can exploit this particular tool to build your understanding, and on top of it you can transform that to anyone who needs that. These are a few phrases you can use for. You can ask for examples, right? This is where you want to learn and you want it to explain stuff in much greater detail. Challenging topics can be fine grained and brought down to a much basic level, and you can use this to explain stuff, right? Of course, chain prompting, we saw this when we were trying to build a resume. We're chaining it. When we were trying to build our recipes, we're chaining it, right? We are asking based on what the output was, we're chaining it, and then we are asking how exactly that the response got curated, got tailor made depending upon the kind of choices we are making from the given list prompts. We saw that, right? We asked for 10 different blogging ideas, and then we saw what are those ideas. It gave me an outline how exactly I can make use of it. Of course, advanced way of using that is in social media marketing or real marketing, or the major use case of what I have seen in my life is in building code. Understanding code or asking for a boilerplate code from it is something which I use it day in day out, and it has been very I've been very lucky to use it in most of my cases, and it's very helpful for me in doing that. This is something where we have a lot of real estate folks, marketing people who want to write some metadata as part of their website, or in a place where they want to market, but they don't know the right English to put it there, right? You can make use of this thing. The marketers can make use of this particular tool to do that, like we saw, right? Or could be the designers, the UI UX designers who want to have an architecture for their website, or to start off a platform which does this thing, right? You can make use of this, right? Generate a UI design requirement for a mobile app. Let's say they want to have their own mobile app. They can use this to spin off or just get started from there, and then curate it much further, like act like a Excel sheet, and maybe you want to build a spreadsheet specifically for your organization's requirement. This can do that. You want to have a formula which appends a set of rows and then does an average, and also remove out all those values which are negative from that. It can give you a formula which you just pick it up, apply it on your Excel sheet, and it will work like a charm.
Can it give you a design for home?
Design of a home, it would give you in a textual format, but there are many other tools which are coming in, which are integrating with ChatGPT, and then they want to break this real estate paradigm, where they want to go inside and they want to help you with doing that. I think in market there are few of them, but this won't exactly give you a visual structure as such, but it will give you steps using which you can achieve that, right? Of course, because I come from an IT industry. I do have been doing IT for past around 13 years, and uh, when I see that the kind of coding support this particular platform is, it's really good. We can quickly try to see how exactly it helps us. Let me just show you that. Let us say I want to please build me a website which displays rental cars. Let's say I have bunch of cars, but I want to have a website which I can, uh, put across on internet, which I can use to rent out my cars. See, it is giving me what is that I will have to do for that. Let us say I want the code which is needed to do that. Give me sample HTML code for the website. Let's say I want the code which is needed to build this website, right? Sure. See, it is giving me a sample HTML code, which I can use to build this website. All I have to do is copy this code, put it on a HTML, and it should work as expected. Let us see if that happens, right? If you see right now, it is writing the code. It is literally doing that coding part, which it is just a very basic example. The possibilities are way huge. I have used it to build cloud formation templates, could be terraform templates on cloud. This can do it like a jump. Those are much more complex tasks which you can do. So it already gave me this particular website generation code, which I can, all I have to do is click on copy code, go back to where I want to build this. Let us say I come back here. I could prepare a text file or anything as such, and then I'll be able to just copy that, paste that code, and I can get started from there, right? This is one beauty of this particular platform. Well, this is of course a very basic head start or a baby step in terms of understanding what is chat gpt capable of. And I do have the prompts which I have put in. Of course, from the limitation standpoint, what we have seen is the data is stale. Sometimes the responses are not accurate, but of course gives you a head start with respect to most of the stuff you have been doing. With that said, I want to conclude this session, and if there are any questions, we can take them.
You mentioned that the tools are available to integrate. So, which are the tools are there?
To integrate. So there are not just with ChatGPT. ChatGPT is one firm which is doing that, but also other firms are trying to build their own AI models. For example, uh, if we go back to this slide, if you see, Midjourney is one such tool which takes text-based commands. For example, I could pass text-based commands, and it would be pulling out and giving you a user interface sort of a display where it will be building images for you using artificial intelligence. Let us say, how would I be walking in heaven? It would be building out some conceptual idea about that. The idea here is the tools are vast. They're growing because it's still in the inception phase where they're still trying to see how exactly it plays out. But a lot of players are coming there, and if you see, the market cap is very huge when it comes to artificial intelligence.
So, are they using only OpenAI backend or they are
If you see, with AWS, I can comment because I have been using that. Amazon Code Whisperer, this is something which gets integrated with your application or your IDE, where it looks for example, if I'm trying to build a website, it will automatically connect to your IDE, and it will give you the code necessary for you to build your application. You don't have to again go and search anywhere. The reason why every organization is trying to build their own is security concerns. Because if you see, most of the few of the countries have already started banning ChatGPT because they have seen some security concerns.
is there anything available right now to integrate or nothing?
Right now it's not there. Yeah, you can use OpenAI's models to do that. There are a few other models which you can use and you can integrate it, but it again comes at a cost. For example, the premium membership, which comes at $20, which will give you a faster response with ChatGPT, is something you can do. Of course, I have made a couple of videos around how exactly you can use ChatGPT's APIs within your code to integrate and fetch and uh, share your responses. And if you're interested, I can share that with you and you can take a look at it. Sure. So, I mean, this session was more in terms of a head start for anyone who hasn't heard about ChatGPT. Why you should register and start playing around that in your day-to-day lives. You should integrate this so that most of the tasks become much easier for you to handle. Right. That is one major aspect of it. At least the word is understood by you. You know where exactly it is applicable, how exactly you can use it, and what exactly you can do in your day-to-day life. So with that is something which we wanted to focus on. Of course, if this interests you, we'll be planning to do much slightly advanced course where we'll be talking more in terms of how exactly you can deep dive on prompts, what exactly these prompts can do for you, how exactly you can make use of these prompts, and what is that it brings to the table in your day-to-day tasks is something which we'll be looking at if this interests you. Right. If you guys have any questions, we can take them or we can call it.
What is the fundamental difference between? I'm sure everyone is using Google,
Mhm.
right? ChatGPT came in December.
Mhm.
So, what is the fundamental difference for a layman, to
Okay.
understand between a Google versus ChatGPT?
Okay. A very interesting question here, right? So a brother has asked, what is the difference between, okay, I know how to search in Google. What is the difference between Google and ChatGPT? Of course, Google is going to give you results with respect to every query you are passing, but it's not going to remember what you have asked for. Like, when you talk to someone, if I'm talking about a certain issue, he remembers that we are discussing about it. That is a human interaction perspective for ChatGPT, which comes in, which is a huge a leap, a quantum leap with respect to Google and ChatGPT, because it remembers the context and it is curating that content as and when. For example, every search you do in Google, next time it doesn't remember what you have told it for. It's not going to tailor make it based on what was your previous response. But here it is remembering the response and it is curating with respect to what was the previous response. Right. That's the major difference, I would say. And also one thing is the instructions are much simpler compared. Google is going to look at the entire dictionary they have, the data source they have, and then whatever is top available, and also they can mark them based on who has paid a certain, who has promoted that, and then based on that the initial links are going to come. But the guarantee that it will be closest to your query is not something which they can ensure.
And they also use the NLP also.
Yes, they use natural language processing. Like we discussed in the initial session, that natural language processing is something which is being utilized to do that. You had a question.
Yeah. So when Google is searching, it's going to give me some document that is already there, right?
Yes.
It's already there somewhere.
Yes.
And what about GPT? Is it going to give me some document or is it going to create a document?
So what ChatGPT does is, it is like, imagine that to be a kid who has been taught and trained with certain stuff, and when you're asking it to best of its knowledge, it is going to curate that content. For example, if you're asking 10 ideas which you want to implement in 2023 with respect to your routine, okay, so it is going to look at what all it has been trained with, because these are artificial intelligence models which are fed with something. They have been fed, based on that it has been improvising its responses, and based on that it's going to give you those curated responses with what it has learned. It's not going to go beyond that. And of course the limitation is the data is limited to 2020. You can't ask anything with respect to today. For example, I can't ask how is the weather today to ChatGPT, because it won't be responding back with the response, because it doesn't have the current context of time.
You can do in Google.
Yeah.
I think what you are asking is that if I search something, for example, to get in a PDF format in the Google, you will get a PDF for that, right? This is a slightly different
That's what I'm
way
expecting.
of solving the different
I don't
sort
want
of
like
a
a
problem.
already created document is stored somewhere, and I just see that. I want something to be created afresh, and that's what I'm expecting.
Yeah, you can get the content and you can paste that onto your document. So can you prepare content? For example, let's say you have a law firm and you want to make a documentation with respect to a specific case you are trying to deal with. It can give you a head start with the content. If you give the inputs, for example, there's a litigation happening between a party A and party B, and then you have they have these clauses. This is when they had sued them for a certain reverse mortgage which came in. And if you give these inputs, it's going to give you that skeleton or a template, and then you can curate it much further also. But the modification, you can limit it to as minimal as possible based on the kind of inputs you are going to pass to it. The more specific inputs you are passing to this particular tool, the more accurate results is something which you can expect.
You're absolutely right. I mean, Google is another option to do that, right? But this is like something, anything that you wanted to get started is always difficult to start because there is so much information. This helps to curate that information and try to focus on what exactly you are wanting to do. If you go and do it in the Google, you will have 1,000 websites coming up, and then you have to go to each website and try to curate the information by yourself.
Yeah. So this was just one small overview of what ChatGPT could do. So we did try out a few of the options, like adding stuff, preparing a recipe, preparing a privacy and a copyright content is something which we saw. Having a beauty product and we needed description for our beauty product, is that's something which we explored. We wanted to get hired ourselves as a Costco sales manager. We built a resume for that today. And also we were looking for blog ideas on cryptocurrency, and then we got 10 ideas, and we picked up an idea, and we also got what exactly does that idea entitled to, and what should that particular blog contain. Of course, we can enhance this further, add more content to it, and then see how exactly it can help. We also asked it to act like a English teacher and teach us uh, basics about noun. This way we also saw what different prompts are available. We also asked it, like, time management tips. How, for example, on a given routine, how exactly can I manage time in a better way depending upon the challenges I have in my life today. And it gave me some inputs around those, right? We also asked it to act like a password generator and make sure it has at least, like, two special characters, and it did that for us. It generated that. And we asked to build a website for a car rental and give me a sample code which I can use to build that website. That is something which it has done today. So with that thing, I think like it was a really good head start with respect to understanding what ChatGPT could do for us. And from here, if there is more interest, we can plan to do a much advanced version where we exploit these prompts to a different level and see if we can build applications, integrate this, and see how exactly it can help us in doing that. With that said, I would be calling it a day, and thank you, Jazakallah Khair, for making your time. It means a lot.